Welcome back to the Gemini channel. My name is Laura. If you're new to my channel, I'm going to do a general message for Gemini. Know that energy is fluid. Roles could be reversed. Just interpret the message as it best resonates with you. Also know on this channel, I like to dive deep within the reading. So the readings have a therapy style to them. So if that's not your thing, this might not be your channel. However, I do look at everything. Thing is, why I like to do it that way is because a lot of times people get stuck in ruminating on why the person did what they did. And it never will logically make sense. So a person would never emotionally feel contented. And the reason why is because there's always a spiritual reason. See, we're spiritual beings having human experiences, which means that we have a spiritual lesson. So the whole thing is when we're looking at shadows, we understand that there's a dust part of self, which is a part of self that when you look in the mirror, that's who you identify with. It's also all the experiences that you lived, good and bad, what you have, a lot of outside sources, which again gives the person a perception of who they are. And then there's the deity part of self, which is the God part of self, which is made of unconditional love. It's the part of self that connects to that we connect to each other. We're able to through empathy, through sensitivity. The problem is that we're all born into societies and families that a lot of times are traumatic based on whatever's going on collectively. Like if there's a war, if there's a depression, if there's a sickness like COVID, again, all that is going to give us a collective perception of the world. And then we again have the perceptions about ourselves. So karmic themes are themes that continue to play out, which makes us feel separate from that deity part of self, which again, there's no separation because God put itself inside of man as a gift of the Holy Spirit. And that was for us to be able to have spiritual sovereignty. But God also knew that there was negative spirits that we would have to deal with. So we have the gift of discernment. We have the gift of prophecy a lot of times, or intuition, right? In order to stay safe. Thing is, a lot of times when we're spiritually blocked, we can't really get access to our intuition because we're always in our mind. If you're nervous, you're not in the energy to receive, unfortunately, even though you might think that isn't that going to be the time that you should receive? Well, you will get a gut feeling, but the problem is that you won't know why, and that's the thing. When you're fully present and you're relaxed, there is divine guidance. And, there's always an action that, you know, comes with once you get guidance. I mean, if it's real guidance, that's how you know it's guidance and it's not mind chatter. Problem is, a lot of people, like I said, that are blocked up, they don't feel. And so, again, the illusion of separation. Right. So I've been starting off every reading with seeing what do you need just for you? What do we need to look at? And then we've been going into your connection. So I'm going to pull three cards from this card, from this deck, rather. All right, they kind of fell out, so we're just going to take them. And we'll pull like four from that deck. Okay, let's see what they have to say. Your words have power beyond the infinite understanding of your planetary mind. Don't neglect, reject, or abandon yourself. Then it won't matter if anyone else does. I'll read these all together at the end. Whatever tools, skills, and abilities you need to accomplish your life's purpose are available to you. All right, I should have showed them to you. All right, and then we got your willingness to learn new things will eliminate the agony of resisting. Study and organizing. So I feel like, you're going to get a new opportunity, and the new opportunity is going to make you have to learn something new, and it could be you might be an influencer, you might be a speaker, but the way that you influence, the way that you speak, like if you work for a company, they're going to want you to do things their way. And so I feel like you land this position, this great position, but it's going to require studying and understand it's also, the job helps you evolve. And being that just stepping into the role of this job, it's going to eliminate people out of your life because you only have so much time, energy, focus, and money. And so if there's been people around you that have been benefiting from your energy, well, they're not going to be able to anymore because, like I said, you're not going to have the time for it. It's like you're learning new things. And because you're learning new things and you're really like again, studying and engrossed in what you're doing, well, Spirit says the agony of people leaving your life, it's not going to matter just as long as you don't abandon yourself. Because there's going to be people that want you to do what they want you to do. There's going to be people that want you to use your energy still for to help them and not really yourself. So, you might have mixed feelings about these people. Like you love them in one instance, but on another, you're like, I don't love them. It's like, there's a fine line between love and hate. So if it's a family member, it's like, yeah, I love you because you're family. And there's a little bit of a loyalty because of that, but I don't want you in my life. I don't like you. I don't like you've come to this realization that again, not everyone's going to be able to come with you on your path. And that as long as you are again not abandoning yourself, you're fine. But being that you're learning something new altogether, your mind can't be in two places at one time. Whatever tools, skills, abilities you need to accomplish your life purpose, you have them. You might feel like this job is a little bit of a challenge. You might feel like I might not be able to do it because, like I said, it's going to require you to learn, to study. And so there's only so much time. And so, but Spirit's saying it's like, you'll be fine. You have to organize yourself. You have to organize your day. So, and part of that is every day you have to study. Every day you have to incorporate it. But the same way that every day you should do a little movement within your body, you have to do your work, you have to do certain things every single day. But there's a lot of hours in the day. We tend to waste hours, and that could be staying up late watching TV instead of getting up early and having good lifestyle habits, right? Because again, this is going to require you to have to learn new things. And Spirit's saying, you may feel like that it's difficult. You may feel like you're stupid. You may feel like, but Spirit says, please don't say, "Oh, I'm so stupid," or "I can't do this," or "It's too difficult," because Spirit says your words are like spells. I mean, we want to make sure that everything isn't in alignment because you don't realize that your brain is always listening to what you're telling it. So Spirit's saying it's like it's gonna be challenging, but it's gonna be good, and it's not gonna be challenging forever. It means that there's a learning curve. And that might be something that scares you. Like automatically you're like, oh, I can't do it. I'm not gonna be able to get it. Like you might have a lot of anxiety around learning new things. Spirit says, well, again, the shadow work this is part of your shadow work. So what'll happen is that saying goodbye to certain people would trigger you. That's number one, because it says reoccurring emotional triggers. So these people that want to be in your life, but they can't be in your life, Spirit says, because already unresolved conflict or behaviors that feel out of alignment, They manifest as unexplained anger, fear, shame, self-criticism. And so it's again, this is part of your shadow work. Fear of success. So it shows up as self-sabotaging. So just those words of saying, I can't do it, or this is too hard, or again, spirit saying, don't say that. Set yourself up for success. You have all the tools that you need to be successful. You have to organize your day. That means you have to get structured, that there's time to work out, there's time to meditate, there's time. It's going to require you to obtain better lifestyle habits. It's going to require you to be disciplined, is all that that means. Because here it is like rooted in belief that you're unworthy of that success that leads to pressure, isolation, or even unwanted attention. But I feel like it can also be that overstimulation of, I want it, but I'm afraid. And when you're not relaxed and you're disorganized and you're trying to learn something new and it's frustrating and you're getting emotional and you're getting triggered, well, this is a way that you can self-sabotage yourself instead of being gentle with yourself and trying to learn a little bit every day, and be organized because you'll be surprised. You might feel like you didn't learn anything, but if you're consistent every day, you'll realize that you did. There just seems to be like trauma around learning or starting something new when it comes to making money, your success. So this is what needs to be looked at just for you. And it's because you're getting a new opportunity. You're either getting a new opportunity or you're getting a raise. There's something it's going to require you to study. It's going to require something again, but to change a little bit. But it's almost like if you get a job and they're like, we love who you are, but you just have to tweak a few things. All right. Let's see where your person is. What do they think? Where are they right now? What are they thinking about? Well, start with the hidden truth because we don't know. That card doesn't belong in there. Okay. I am not available. Like this person is not emotionally available and they're not available. It was my fault, but I blamed you. Why do I feel like this person is either in a relationship or they're trying to get out of a relationship and that they have a lot of turmoil around them right now. I don't know why I feel that way, but I feel like this person was always a shady cat. Sometimes I stay awake thinking about you because I want to be more than friends. So the thing is that I believe that this person, when you met them, they either were with a person or they were getting out of a relationship. And they didn't want to get back into a full-fledged relationship. They wanted you still in their life, but they wanted things on their terms, which was kind of one-sided. So anytime you said something about it and tried to hold a boundary, they would blame you for like not talking, but really this person would stonewall you because it's like they didn't want to talk about it. So if I disengage with you, then you're going to talk about it by yourself. So I feel like that's what happened, and you disconnected. And but this person wants to come back, but they don't want to be friends, and they don't think that you'll even probably want them in their life. I lost themselves for a while. And I feel like they lost themselves for a while, yes, because of whatever's going on in their life. However, they also lost themselves for a while because they didn't want to give in, and that's what I see. I regret lying to you because at least you still be in this person's life. Maybe not dating, but now this person has to start from scratch. They don't even know who you are. They can't just spin the block and pop up. They wasted a lot of time. They lost themselves for a while. But part of that, like I said, was ego, and part of that is I'm dealing with problems. And so this person regrets lying to you in the fact that I feel like they acted like you weren't that important to them, and that's them. You speak to me through music, and I feel like this person just has you on their mind a lot. So when you're listening to love songs, that's what's going to happen. I know that I crossed the line with you. And that's why they feel different. And the cross the line is that you have boundaries. You're like, I'm not just gonna run around with the person or hook up with the person or be with someone while they're dating someone else or they're just getting out of a relationship. And I feel like you were told this person and they did what they wanted to do anyway, and because of that, they left you before you could leave them. And that's because they were still attached to someone. So they're really afraid to contact you. But they feel you even though you're apart. And I feel like for a while, whoever this person was with, might have had more than you did, or if they were married, like I said, they built assets together, they had things. So this person hid behind those things. So what you saw was a successful man or woman that wasn't single but portrayed themselves as single. And every time you tried to get close, they would back away. And when they felt like that wasn't going to work anymore, they left you before you could leave them because they knew you'd only leave them. So now what it is that this person's not happy where they are. And they're either trying to get out of where that place with that other person, or got out of that place and they're still not happy because they lost stuff. It's like one or the other. But this person knew what they were doing the whole time. They did not feel bad what they were doing either. When they met you and they lied, they didn't feel bad. When they chose another person over you, they didn't feel bad. They don't feel bad. What they feel bad about is that you're okay. You're happy. You're moving on and they're not in a good space. That their little game of hiding, you know, hiding who they really were, like it backfired. It's like they always had feelings for you. They wanted you to fight for them. It's like, but they acted like I'm gonna give you less because it's easy because I have someone at home anyway. And so I just feel like they're not happy. They're not happy with who they're with. And but this person is like, oh, I have, feelings for you, but I know I screwed you over. So I don't know what to do. And that's why this person doesn't have a way to get back into your life. And so they're like, they can't just uh pop up on you because it would be like you talking to someone that you haven't talked to in like 20 years. I mean, like if they were to actually reach out to you, that would show how much they truly care. And so there's a part of this person that does not know whether or not you're mad, whether you're not mad. They just know that you're pretty much unfazed because the connection has changed. I feel this person still feels connected to you like that, like no other person, but they couldn't be faithful to you in their heart and their soul because there was somebody else at the time, and that you really did mean the world to them and do mean the world to them, even though they couldn't tell you. And they didn't tell you because, again, the loyalty was with someone else. And so there was someone else I still have feelings for. So they dip in and out of a connection. That's what it is. It's like they've been connected to someone for a long time. But the relationship is one of those on again, off again, on again, off again. And so the thing is, does this person want to hook up with people? Yes, because they don't get everything from that person. But do they actually want to leave that person? No, they don't really want to leave that person. The reason why is because they shared a lot of stuff. They have a lot of stuff together. So they don't want to lose their money. They don't want to lose that illusion of who they are. meaning it's successful, like how they met you and the persona that they gave you, that's not who they really are. They're connected to someone else that they built with somebody else. They just hide that somebody else. They have feelings for that somebody else, but they want to be able to sleep around on that person. But the loyalty is still with that person. So the thing is, this person, every time you got close, what that's why they would be like, okay, like I'm gonna blame you. But what it is I'm just gonna gaslight you, stonewall you, ignore you, and eventually we just start talking again. That's what they thought because they've done it so many times before with other people and maybe even with you, and not to the point where, hey, like you were in a full-fledged relationship with them when they weren't doing it, maybe, but they were still did it even as a friendship because they would never give you. And so, and they never will. What they want is they want to have their cake and eat it too. Because they don't want to give up that other person because they have feelings for that person. Are they madly in love with that person? No, but there's intimacy issues, there's trust issues, but there's also loyalty. And so what you see is a trauma bond. So anyone outside of that. And so when you were like, I'm going to have boundaries and I'm going to look into this person like blamed you, said you were controlling, spinning the narrative. And really, it was their way to leave you before you left them so that they would not lose face. And that's the issue. They couldn't express all their feelings that they have for you at the time because, again, you would then have expectations. So that's the deal. And that's the type of relationship that they want. I don't really see them, I didn't see them coming back because, like I said, it's like they would actually have to tell you, hey, listen, what do you want? And they'd have to get rid of that other person. And they're not getting rid of that person. Maybe that person might get rid of them, but even if that happened, you still wouldn't want to be with this person because, hey, they didn't choose you. They chose that person. Even though they cheat on that person, even though they're not loyal to that person, it's like there's a loyalty in that I'll stay with you. We won't break apart our assets. Whatever I make, I'll share with you, but I don't want to sleep with you. I don't want that type of relationship. Or I want to sleep with you sometimes. But then, we fight all the time, we break up all the time, and then I'm able to do what I want. So it's a bogus, like it's a sham of a connection. It's kind of love disguise. It's not real. And that's again, if you were able to go beyond the superficial looks, you would have seen who they truly are. And it's that they're a poser. They're a poser. They cover up who they really are. And that's the way that they will continue to be. This person only knows how to have really, really, really like passionate or crazy type relationships. So I feel like you're avoiding that whole thing because you already know. It's like this person loves drama. They love drama. They're with somebody that they don't give to. They are always, and they have a big ego. So they want to be the one that walks around with this big ego and has their cake and eat it too. And while you get swept away in the illusion that it's a relationship, and this person also like is thinks I think that they party too much. So they're with a person pretty much that there's no passion for, but there is friendship and loyalty, and then this person just does drugs and screws other people to satisfy their need. And so it's like a sham. It's like they'll like if they were going to be with you, it would be all lust and passion for a certain amount of weeks, days, however long it took, and then bye. Like, because that's who this person is. They're very toxic. And so what they think is, well, we could have actually been friends, if they would have handled that differently. You know, not saying that you would be friends, but they regret lying to you. They regret not telling you everything because if they would have told you, hey, listen, I'm in a relationship and I'm not in love, but I don't have plans, you would have still been in this person's life. But it's the way that they treated you. It's the way that they acted because they wanted to manipulate you, where they wanted to like put you in competition with the person that they live at home because it creates that spiciness, and then that person at home can pretend that they won again because this person cheats all the time on that person that's at home. So they have to throw that person a bone. And so, this person would have had lust with you, and then when they wanted to get rid of you, if they had to bring in to tell their, that person, whether it's their wife or their girlfriend or whoever, that karmic, oh well, this woman or this man is like, coming around all the time. Well, again, then it becomes your problem and it creates like a triangle, and this person loves that because then the person that's actually living with them doesn't look at the fact that you're a cheat. All you do is run around and cheat and you make me look bad. Now they put that person more in competition where they feel like the winner. And then, person acts nice for a day or two and then goes back to cheating. It's the same thing. It's a sham. It's not a healthy connection at all. So you have to say, why did you attract this person into your life? If you're a mirror of who and what comes into your life, you need to say, what are the wounds that I need to heal? So we're going to look at the wounds and we're going to look at the inner child wounds. And then we'll look and see how to transmute those wounds. So we're going to pick uh, four. Actually, one fell out, so we'll take it. Broken trust, attachment wounds, existential despair. Yeah, this person they would have. Look at this. So again, the wounds that they triggered within inside of you was they projected. All their wounds, all their fears, they didn't want you to find it, they projected it onto you. This person has attachment wounds. You also, listen, I feel like grew up with someone that projected their anger onto you, and you didn't have a good attachment to them. So your mother or father might have been an avoidant, or both of them might have been an avoidant when it came to your needs. So it wound up breaking the trust just right then and there. When a parent doesn't show up or they act like they don't care, well, it's going to definitely damage the trust. Shows up as difficulty relying on others. Why? Because again, you couldn't rely on your parents. Fear of betrayal. Why? Because it's happened before. A tendency to isolate in order to keep safe. Rooted in past trust violation, this wound creates a lingering fear of being hurt again and can manifest as doubt in others and your serenity. So, and it goes back to this. The attachment wound, which shows up as difficulty forming secure, trusting relationships, fear of abandonment, rejection, may manifest as emotional distance or clinginess, which we know. Usually it's distance, but it winds up being like a trauma bond type of connection. And here we see extinction. I can't even say this. Existential despair. Can't pronounce it, sorry, but it shows up as deep sense of meaningless, questioning your purpose, a feeling of disconnected from your true self, often stems from spiritual disconnection, inner conflict leading to hopelessness and conclusion. Now, these were the wounds, and that you would feel that way if you were attached to somebody that you weren't getting love, you weren't getting nurtured. If anything, there was a lot of like trust if you grow up with a parent that doesn't show up for you. that betrays you can and projects their stuff on, well, you're taking all that on. And so you wouldn't feel like there was a God. You wouldn't feel like you were being protected. You wouldn't feel connected to your body. You wouldn't feel safe. You would isolate. And so Spirit says that happens all the time from betrayal, wounds. And so we see where did they come from? And because they usually come from your inner child wounds, and Spirit says it comes from abuse, from a lack of support and emotional emotional connection, and having to like deal with your your problems by yourself, not having support, no time and attention, not feeling safe, feeling more like a loner. And that's why you pulled these cards, where it's like you already experienced betrayal, you already experienced this. So it's pushing you back into that, like, I'd rather be safe, I'd rather be a loner, like type of energy. Makes me feel unworthy when there's abuse. I feel like the abuse was more psychological and emotional. Again, trying to gaslight you, trying to make you question, you know, uh, saying that it was your fault when it was really their fault because they had someone at home that they just like are in a weird type of, it's a sham. It's not even a weird type of relationship, it's a sham. What Spirit says. So that's why you attracted this person. You can see the attachment wounds. Well, again, if a parent makes you feel unworthy because emotionally they don't show up for you, well, again, that's support. Child is not going to feel safe, not going to trust to be vulnerable. It's not going to be trust to really even form that strong attachment. So there'll always be fear of abandonment until the person heals it. And where Spirit says that the situation was to help you transform, turn the fears into strength as you step into profound change, and everything's unfolding in divine timing. Until then, Spirit says, go out into uncharted waters. Evoke your curiosity, discover new aspects of yourself and the world. Venture in with confidence. It's a way of loving yourself because hey, you're about to step into limited potential, like you're about to achieve great things. And so this person coming back during that time, well, they would have tried to like emotionally take you off your track, where Spirit says, no, you just need to know that this was a karmic and not to take them back. Because this person actually is going to most likely spin the block eventually to be like, hey, you interested? They're going to pop up on you. They're going to show up at your house. They're going to show up at work. They're going to show up and because they don't really know. But they know. They just can't call you. And which is probably why you're like, I'm not leaving my house because I don't want to see this person. I don't want to run into this person. Where Spirit says, it's fine, even if you do, just have the faithfulness to commit to your own mind, your heart, and your will, and be devoted to the needs of your own soul and trust in yourself and God and the universe. And that is it right now. Because you're still healing and you're still growing, and you don't want people in your life that don't really know what they want, or they want their cake and eat it too. It'll always be a one-sided connection. And so this is about being true to yourself. And because you do reward yourself by not being with this person, you're stepping into infinite possibilities, big opportunities. And Spirit says, see your own greatness, see your own genius. Everybody else can, but you got to. And you don't just need to see it, you need to embody it. I'm going to leave that there. You let me know how you resonated, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.